across the globe about their past, present, and futures in business innovation and life. I enjoy helping people build their portfolios and bring out the authenticity of their business. Let's get started with today's guest. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. I have the producer, Nathan, here, and we're going to talk about two different subjects. One being, give me just a second. One being talking about Facebook and how Facebook has the Meta 2, Ray-Ban 2 glasses, and another one is talking about how, now we have Spiderman webbing from scientists vigorously working on these projects. So tell me, what are your two perspectives or your one perspective of this before I start reading out the actual article and what it's entailing? What is on your mind now?
Sure.
Nathan?
Well, let's just talk about really quick. Last week we were talking about a more serious topic, which was the Facebook hack. So that's not going to be this week. I mean, there could be some serious aspects to it. I mean, in terms of how you interpret it.
Mm-hmm.
But these are going to be fun gadgets that, at least for me in my childhood, I would love to see come to life.
Yeah, I would love to see it come to life too. So let's go ahead and read about the Facebook. First, the Spiderman sticky web gadget. So scientists have developed this fluid or a fluid that turns into a strong sticky fiber when shots out of a gadget to lift objects several times its weight. A breakthrough inspired by comic book superhero Spiderman. Researchers have long sought to create strong fibers that could be deployed as tethers, inspired by the silk secreted by moths and spiders and several other insects. But developing these fibers with such stiffness, elasticity, and adhesive properties of spider silk has been a challenge until now. Researchers at Tufts University says, fortified with the right additives, the silk moth protein called fibrin, shot through a narrow needle can form a tough, sticky fiber, according to a new accidental breakthrough described as advanced functional materials. So this silk fibrin, and he was using it to clean his glassware with acetone and noticed a web-like material forming at the bottom of the glass, Marco Presti said. Initially attempting to replicate spider threads, researchers noticed that the fibrin solution had formed a semi-solid gel when exposed to chemicals like ethanol or acetone over several hours. But the chemical dopamine, the solidification process occurred almost immediately to create high tensile sticky fibers. The dopamine mixture appeared to accelerate silk's protein's transition from liquid to a solid by taking away water from it. They also found a thin stream of silk-like solution surrounding the layer of acetone turned into a sticky solid when shot through a special needle. As the acetone evaporated in the air, the fiber attached to any object it contacted. According to Chiselson, a protein found in insect skeletons is made of the fibers 200 times more tensile, while chemicals like borate buffer seem to increase the adhesiveness to about 18-fold, scientists says. The diameter of fibers can be controlled to a range from the width of a human hair to about a millimeter, depending on the bore of the needle. Fibers shot this way can pick up objects up to 80 times their weight under various conditions, scientists say. In various tests, when fibers pick a steel bolt, a laboratory tube floating in water, a scalpel partially buried in a sand, and a wood block from a distance about 12 centimeters. Although spider silk is some 1,000 times stronger, scientists say the new fibers can be improved for various applications. This process can be finely tuned in to achieve controlled fabrication and instantaneously form adhesive hydrogel fibers. It's a really a superhero inspired material. Out of everything I said, what do you think about what this can be used for? Like,
It's funny. The first thing I thought about was clothing. And we
yes,
hear, of all these wardrobe malfunctions, and because, they're trying to just quickly piece together an outfit or something like that. And with this, you're talking about the needle, it can create much stronger clothing potentially. And I don't know what the warming aspects of it will be, but it doesn't matter. I mean, there's always a different clothing for each different type of environment. So having clothing that is stronger and more sturdy would be pretty awesome, because then you don't have to worry about maybe going out into public and accidentally ripping your pants in the back when you're bending down over, or maybe getting holes in parts of your shirt or something like that.
yeah, they did say in the scientific. I actually cheated and watched something on science, and they were talking about how it's used for more stronger ties, how it's used
Mm-hmm.
for buildings like bridges. This is what they want it to be used for, because they feel like the strength of this is to the maximum. It can help with a lot of things, and the cost can go down. You know, if made, and it is finally made, but it's still in the small stages. So we should be very like optimistic about what's coming out, like, and this is one of the things that I feel that is going to get much media attention, because everybody know that Spider-Man show or movie where he's throwing out these things and it can able to do a lot of damage and help a lot of people, burying the trains, like taking trains and moving them, or however, those things can come in handy. What do you think, Nathan?
I think of the military too, and
Yeah.
grappling hooks, or
Yes,
police
I didn't think
departments
of
when they
that.
need to like scale a building or something like
Mhm.
that. These grappling hooks, they got the strong ropes and stuff like that, but they're so thick and heavy. If they had like a thinner material like this spider silk, then it can be more easily portable for them, and then they can take it onto the sites and be a lot more mobile with them, and maybe even give it to more people too as part of the team, rather than just using multiple people on one. Each person can have their own individual one.
The possibilities are endless, with the military, with this type of stuff that we have. We can actually cuz there's talks of like a dome being built. I don't know what it's being built out of, but it's a dome being built. But I just know that the silk, which is like 80 times like it's lighter, but it can pull up to 80 times um harder, like, subjects or matter. That goes a long way for fixing a lot of items. um Clothing being one. Tennis shoes, you can use tennis shoes for a longer period of time. You can create these silk woven webs for so much things that's out there, that we need these fiber spider fibers and moth fiber fibers for. I feel like, it's not going to really get the media attention, because I just so happened to find it off of actually Fox News. So I sat up there and I looked up scientific things, and I seen this. It really intrigued me, and I think they're not really going to be looking for this until about maybe 10, 20 years down the road, where they find a specific, like bridges, like I said before. Bridges is something to take account for, the ribbons or the actual straps of the bridges. They want that to be, and it's cheaper. I believe it's cheaper, versus, steel, but I could be wrong. What do you think?
Another thing to take account for too is the longevity,
Mm-hmm.
since I mean, if you're talking about spider silk itself, that's kind of a natural thing which I think can decompose quicker
Mm-hmm.
than a metal. Of course,
That's
metal you
true.
have to deal with rusting,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have to treat it with anti-rusting products. So I do think for longevity purposes, like a bridge,
Mm-hmm.
they might be better off still sticking with metal. But if you need something that's not supposed to last 20 years, then you could definitely go with this silk as far as like maybe repair projects or, pieces of clothing, something that you do not have to rely on to last you a long time with heavy duty uses
Yeah, a lot of
constantly.
research. A lot
Yeah.
of research is need to more be done into, like you said, how long would it be before we have to spray steel down with steel because of the rust, or the same with the silk fiber, how long before it gets damaged, like how much, what should we do when it gets damaged, like how do we, fix it, like what is the counteractive part to help rebuild this silk, spider silk,
Mm-hmm.
you know um
Well, since it's a silk or a fiber, I'd assume it'd be like a thread, so you could easily maybe tie them
mhm
together.
mhm
You don't necessarily need to like weld or somehow bond it together. Just a quick tie up would probably do the job if it happens to snap or be cut in half.
yeah, I would see that. I
Mm-hmm.
I would see, like, just making knots,
Yeah,
like
because
sort
I'm
of
sure
like
it's very
knots.
flexible
Yeah, it
too.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
So you
Um,
don't have to worry about with metal. Metal is not easily flexible.
no, it's not.
So it's really hard to tie it back together.
That's true. That's true. And also you know, this type of protein is what's found in insects exoskeletons, making the fiber 200 more times tensile, while chemicals like borate buffer seem to increase the adhesiveness. Like adding these chemicals together, it is just so amazing. Adding these chemicals together to produce, because it, let's just face it, we will always be the artificial person that builds artificial stuff, man-made stuff. And we done came up with the tiniest infancy phases of this happening. Obviously, we want it to hold other things like buildings or possibly and clothing, like you said. But it's like the intelligence, they had to find these chemicals to build this structure, this saucy to rubbery to the adhesiveness, more structured than any other structure, like you're basically putting a gluey substance, a high tech gluey substance on a lug nut or on, different objects objects to, you know, see if it holds. And it has been holding. You know, I feel like these this invention is worth talking about. This invention is definitely worth talking about. Don't you think, Nathan?
Oh, of course. I mean, a lot of inventions that we have actually came from animals or insects. Like, snakeskin has been used for like armor purposes and stuff like that. And then for birds, we use them or their technologies, if you will, to develop airplanes and flight. So with spiders, I mean, we haven't really gone into them yet. And of course, we've had like netting to hold things in, but not the actual silk itself to be used as a strong thread alternative.
Yeah, that is true. To use it as a threading alternative, they have been trying to come up with these ways to use some type of silk. They've been doing this for like decades now, and they finally found it with their niches, and I feel like this is going to be a really good addition to the family of adding science with nature.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we're not taking spiders and grabbing their silk out of them, like, how we milk cows and stuff like that. It's not like that same thing. We're just talking about using chemicals and stuff to create a version of silk, which is very similar in characteristics to what a spider produces.
Yeah.
And just amplifying it up to human size rather than teeny tiny insect size.
Yeah. That is amazing, man. Like these inventions that are out here. I am having technical difficulties with my StreamYard, but
okay, it shows that we're still alive here, so I think we're okay.
Okay, great. So pretty much I wanted to get onto another subject.
Oh, real quick before we go to that one.
Okay.
One day I want to commute to work by slinging across traffic lights, just take the little spider web and attach it to a traffic light and just keep swinging my way over to work.
Okay, Peter Parker. Okay.
Now we can talk about the next one.
Okay, so the next one, thank you, Nathan. The next one that I wanted to talk about is facial recognition data breach. Meta glasses extract info in real time. Before I read about it, I would like to play a 24-second commercial on it. So, I want to know what y'all think.
We built glasses that let you identify anybody on the street. The information our tool collects from just a photo of your face is staggering.
To use it, you just put the glasses on, then as you walk by people, the glasses will detect when somebody's face is in frame. This photo is used to analyze them, and after a few seconds, their personal information pops up on your phone.
Wow. So this is by Joe Salas, and it is with the new Atlas. So basically it says, in what might be described as real-life Black Mirror episode, a Harvard student used facial recognition with $379 Meta Ray-Ban 2 smart glasses. And it's to dig up personal data on every face he sees real time. If you ever cared about your privacy, now might be the time to grab the tinfoil hat. I've already got mine on. And Fu Nugent, a junior at Harvard University, uses the live stream feature in his Meta Ray-Ban 2 smart glasses while a connected computer monitors the feed in real time. He employs publicly available AI-powered facial recognition software to detect faces and scour the internet for more images of these individuals. He then uses databases like voter registration and online articles to gather names, addresses, phone numbers, and next of kin, and even social security numbers. All this data is scrapped together using a LLM, large language model, similar to ChatGPT, which aggregates the data into a searchable profile that's fed straight back to its phone. The entire process only takes seconds from being captured and is discreetly via the glasses to being displayed on the phone, giving off real-life cyberpunk 2077 vibes. Nugent says he's not done with any of this nefarious or malicious purposes. He's not done any of this for nefarious or malicious purposes. He's even published a small how to remove your information from some of the databases he used to scrape up your personal data. He wants to raise awareness on the implications this type of technology presents. While he offers a solution to help protect yourself, it's really a small drop in a very large bucket that very well may never have a solution. Or maybe the solution will be wearing smart glasses of your own with infrared lights, constantly blinding other facial recognition cameras. Unfortunately, bad actors, hackers that act maliciously have already broken into many people's websites, databases, including April of this year when information on 3 billion people, included every single social security number in existence, was stolen from the background check of national public data and posted on the dark web. This kind of thing will never become quicker and easier to execute as advanced AI systems become more capable with coding. Nugent shows the video just how quickly he can gain people's trust by knowing a couple of small details about them and approaching them in person. For now, Nugent says he's not releasing this software, which he is dubbed by iRay. What do you think about that, Nathan? What does your brain say, Jimmy Neutron?
Like what we said last week, every piece of technology can be either used for good or for bad. It just depends on how it used. So with this one, I know you've talked about, some dangers about the people hacking and all of that, but one really good benefit I could possibly see from this is going to business networking events or other social events, especially for people who are a little bit more on the shy side. They can use those glasses and then just kind of scan the environment and find out maybe which people they would be wanting to approach to network with and spend less time just going around and trying to find it. They can just do a quick scan and figure out, okay, this person, they work in the technology department, or this person works in marketing, this person works in automotive mechanics or something like that. It can help you find those quicker people without having to worry so much about time running out.
Yeah, and I feel that they should build some anti ID theft software that goes against the software that just came out by that Harvard student, because this is people's privacy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like using it should be like a lock or some type of filter, some type of locking system that doesn't have them do that unless,
like a consent form,
yeah.
Everybody has a social security number or
Yeah.
something, and that if this was something, whatever they use as your identification would need to have some sort of I consent or legal document that you have to sign if you want to either accept or reject having your information in that Ray-Ban's glasses network.
I agree. I agree that there should be something within that type of consent, and there should be something inside of the computer. You know how we get what is it? Final Cut Pro.
Oh yeah.
We have to pay the additional $399 for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like there should be some type of additional amount of money to keep people faces from being shown, because that's going to make, they're going to lead back to the person that was holding the glasses to see what they were doing with that type of proprietary information. So we might as well figure out a way that, if we needed to do it sociable and have like sociable things going on where we need to associate ourselves with a person but don't know how to, and this is a way to break the actual ice, crush the ice, yeah. But if we are to sit up there and abuse this technology, then I feel like nobody should have it, because we're trying to know people, yeah, which they explains that they do, but we're not trying to have somebody extort information like we were talking about last week on,
Well, one thing with that too, is it's a pair of glasses. Somebody could easily tell if they're using that because they're wearing them. It's not like they're just using something that is more concealed. I mean, it's right there on their face, so you can see that that person has it pretty obviously.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's a funny way of saying it too. Like they have it right there on their face, and then you just glancing and they're looking at you, and you're like, "Oh, hold
You can
up,"
almost do
you
like the
know?
whole peekaboo thing. They start looking at you, you put your hands up. Sorry, you can't find out who I am.
Yeah, I feel like the technologies out there the possibilities are endless. Even if they don't produce this, somebody is going to produce it in the app when the Ray-Ban 2 come out, that has minimum uh damage, that keeps people from like happy with just knowing basic stuff but not a lot, because to take somebody's social security number, is just wrong. To take somebody's social security number is just wrong. I feel like, we need to have something else built beyond social security numbers, like secret codes that only people we'd have that, but
Mm-hmm.
like go to social security and attach some type of secret code or something that only the person that's alive knows.
Yeah,
You know?
like a redress number at the TSA.
Yes. That's what I feel like. What do you feel like?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that social security number needs to be yours and yours only, and nobody else should ever be exploiting it. I say exploiting it because, companies like banks or your employer need to know it for legal purposes. But then there's people, of course, that use it in their name or take advantage of having it, which is what we need to prevent.
Yeah. And I just wanted to we got 1 minute, so I wanted to say that, it's been a pleasure, and it's always a pleasure. Next week I'll have a guest, but the following weeks we're going to talk about some things. I just wanted to say it's a pleasure talking to Nathan, like seriously, and he's a very smart person, and I just wanted to say thank you so much, you guys, for joining my show, and you all have a wonderful day.